Mark Anthony Lopez, no, posted, sabi niya, aside from Duke Frasco, Congressman Duke Frasco is our Deputy Speaker, Ace Barbers is also one of the most stupid congressman ever. Fact yan, sabi niya. Oh. Eh, bakla ka pala eh. Oh. Di ba? Fact din yan. Di ba? Oh. Ngayon, stupid ka din. No, sorry, no, I'm just stating a fact. I'm just stating a fact, Mr. Chair, no? Eh, sa tingin ko, that's the way they do things, eh. Diba? That's the way they do things. Then, it's not, I'm just stating this for the record that I just received this picture. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hindi ako nag-aral para maging fake news spreader. It's not as if Ace Barbers cannot sue someone. It's not as if Martin Romualdez cannot sue someone. It's been done before. We could be sued. A congressman can sue someone. So why are they not using it? Bakit ipapatawag kami para dun sa HOR para magawa nila yung gusto nila? It's not a level playing field. We're not going. Hindi naman kami tanga na pupunta kami dun. Tas gagawin nilang gusto nila sa amin. Gusto niyo ng gulo? Gusto niyo ng dito sa labas? And then, if gusto nyo talaga kami ipatawag, hindi namin ibibigay yung sarili namin easily. You will go through legal hoops to get us. Hindi kami tanga, hindi kami aso, na pupunta kami sa HR kasi pinatawag nyo kami. Kung gusto nyo kaming kunin, makukuha nyo kami, pero paghihirapan nyo. And malalaman ng buong mundo kung anong ginagawa nyo. We will not allow it. Hindi kami ignorante, we know our rights. Good afternoon po. Please forgive me if I stutter or stall because I don't know why they call me a vlogger. I've never gone on live. I always just write. I'm a writer. In fact, if some of you are actual newspaper or publication writers here, I'm one of you. I'm an editor for Manila Bulletin and for Balita. I don't go on social media. I've never gone on live, not once. I've never been on YouTube. I don't have a YouTube. I'm not monetized. I'm a regular person who criticizes the government on my page. But because I've made powerful enemies, nandito ako. Nandito ako and I'm looking at you and it feels so surreal because I look at you and I'm there. Ako yan eh. Ako yan pag meron kaming kina-cover kasi editor ako ng Diaryo. But now I'm here just because I pissed off Martin Romualdez and Judas Isidre. I just want to share, I've been writing, I've been politically aware ever since Typhoon Yolanda hit my province of Leyte. But nobody has ever, and I'm just writing my thoughts because Facebook says what's on your mind. So you write what's on your mind. But apparently, I've pissed off Martin Romualdez and Judas Isidre. So, nandito ako ngayon because I have an uncle who is one of their contractors, one of their big contractors. Tapos matagal na akong sinasabihan, tumigil ka na, bumabangga ka sa pader. And the more they tell me that, the more I realize, parang ba't mo ako papatigilin? Kung may problema kayo sa sinasabi ko at mali, then sue me. You have legal remedies. You have defamation, you have cyber libel, one of the strictest.
Di ba sinabi na nga, may balm of clean conscience. Kung ikaw naman ay hindi totoo yung mga pinaparatang sa'yo bilang isang public official, eh doon ka na lang mag-find ng consolation. Huwag mo nang idemanda. Besides, kaya nga po, just to show you how protected free speech is when it comes to matters of public concern. Kasi di ba, politiko ka.
Opo.
Ikaw ay nasa pwesto. Kahit hindi ka nasa pwesto, ikaw ay public figure. Pag may kritisismo laban sa'yo, malice is never presumed if you are a public figure.
Ayun.
Kung pribadong mamamayan ka, malice will be presumed. The law itself presumes that the malicious, but that the derogatory imputation is malicious.
Opo.
Pero pag public figure, it is the complainant na dapat mag-prove ng malice.
Opo.
Because ang presumption is that there is absence of malice.
Ayun.
Ganun yun eh. Kaya nga, sabi ko nga, huwag kang magbalat sibuyas. Di ba? Kaso ang problema, si Congressman Barbers, hindi naman siya balat sibuyas. Ang nangyari, parang nagtalop siya ng sibuyas.
Inaprubahan ng Tri Committee ng Kamara de Representantes ang pagpapalabas ng subpina laban sa mga social media influencer at vlogger na hindi dumalo sa investigasyon kaugnay ng pagkalat ng fake news online. Sa pagdinig nitong Martes, sinabi ni Abang Lingkod Repon Joseph Steven Paduano na nakatanggap ang komite ng sulat mula sa individual na inisyuhan ng show cause order ng komite sa pagdinig noong Pebrero 4. Ayon kay Paduano, karamihan ng mga hindi dumalo ay idinahilan ang kanilang inihaing petisyon for certiorari sa Korte Suprema. Kasama sa mga hindi dumalo sina Trixie Cruz Angeles, Crisette Loretta Chu, Sas Rogando Sasot, Mark Anthony Lopez, Lorraine Marie Badoy Partosa, Jeffrey Almendras Celis, Eric Celis, Dr. Richard Mata, Ethel Pineda Garcia, Joy De Vivre, Elizabeth Joy Cruz, Aaron Peña, at Mary Jean Reyes. Mr. Chairman, may I respectfully move that we issue a subpoena ad testificandum for all those mentioned names that have officially received a copy of such show cause order? Sabi ni Paduano. Ang subpoena laban kay Suzanne Batalla ay hindi muna itinuloy dahil sa ipinadala nitong medical certificate na ginamit na dahilan kung bakit hindi ito nakadalo. Inaprubahan ni Antipolo Replon Romeo Acop, ang presiding officer ng pagdinig, ang mosyon na sinegundahan at hindi tinutulan ng mga miyembro. Naghain din ng mosyon si Paduano na muling ipadala ang mga show cause order na hindi natanggap.
I'm sure you will agree with me na maraming mga vloggers na para lang maka-generate ng mapansin, ika nga, no? Nagmumura, no? In fact, bastos di ba? Hindi naman natin sila masisisi o hindi natin masisisi kung paano sila pinalaki ng kanilang mga magulang dahil siguro pinalaki silang bastos di ba? Yun nga ang sinabi sa akin ni Congressman Marcoleta na hindi dapat ganun. Dahil alam mo, tinuturuan natin yung ating mga anak na maging magalang, di ba? Na maging respectful. Hindi yung bulgar na bastos. Di ba, aling batikusin ka, huwag ka lang magmumura. Kasi subukan mong sabihin sa akin harapan yung ganun. Anong pakiramdam mo? Di ba? Pero kung online, kung magmura, akala mo ang tapang. Di ba? Kaya nga sabi ni Congressman Marcoleta sa akin, hindi dapat pinapayagan yung mga ganun. Would you be able to tell this committee kung how many of our vloggers or the ones that use the YouTube social media platform are able to monetize? Would you be able to tell us that? And if you can, what is the ballpark figure of the amount of the revenues that these vloggers make?
Mr. Chairman, I think tens of thousands of Filipino creators are in the YouTube Partnership Program.
And all of them are monetizing?
Once you are in the YouTube Partnership Program, then that means that you are monetizing your content.
And would you be able to tell us, give us a ballpark figure as to how much revenues do these vloggers make?
I think the Google, as a public company, is able to disclose its revenues, but I would not have the ability to give you the specific details for the Philippines.
I understand, yeah. But the reason why I asked that, Mr. Chair, is because we'd like to find out what motivates the vloggers, the so-called vloggers. I'm not generalizing, but what I'm saying is that there are very few of them who actually are motivated by the monetization by these social media platforms. And the only objective is to generate engagements, a higher number of engagements, in order to convert this to cash. Tama, di ba? I think that's the motivation of some of these vloggers who peddle fake news. And you know naman how it is. When a fake news is being posted online, people has different reactions. One would probably, if one sees it, probably would say, totoo ba ito? Or the other would say, ay, totoo ito. Kasi galing ito kay ganyan. Or would say na, teka nga, tanong ko nga kay ipasa ko ito. So that creates engagements and increases the number of people who actually has seen a post that could be fake or could be false. So, anong mechanism meron si YouTube to be able to limit, if not eliminate this kinds of peddling of falsehoods?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to share some relevant provisions of the advertiser-friendly guidelines which all YouTube creators need to comply with. So some of the things prohibited are inappropriate language, shocking content, hateful and derogatory content, as well as incendiary and demeaning content.
Does YouTube recognize vulgar languages? Or let's say yung pagmumura? Does YouTube consider this as obscene, vulgar, therefore gives them the right to take it down?
In certain cases, that might fall under incendiary and demeaning. So let me just read what is stated. Content that is gratuitously incendiary, inflammatory, or demeaning may not be suitable for advertising.
Okay, so kasi the reason why I asked that, parang it seems that napapabayaan natin yung mga nagmumura eh. Di ba? Kung yung taong na nagmumura, na gumagamit, nagpo-post ng kanilang mga content online ay nagmumura, eh karakter na ho nila yun. Maaaring pinalaki sila ng mga magulang nila na pinayagan silang magmura. Pero the question is there a mechanism? Yung YouTube ba, pagka nakita niyang nagmumura, yan, kahit malang sana yung toot, di ba, yung mayroong paano tawag doon? Yung imbis na patuloy yung nagmumura, parang yung parang ini-stop yung word na yon or something. Meron ba kayong ganung mechanism?
So as mentioned, if the content of the creator is already violative of our advertiser-friendly guidelines, YouTube might enforce some monetization policies.
Yeah, but do they recognize yung vulgar languages na Tagalog, which gives them a ground to take it down? Do they recognize that?
YouTube does have language experts in Filipino and other local dialects.
So these are not AI generated. Kumbaga hindi nila translate.
We
mechanism na
use a
ganun?
combination of both machine learning and AI-assisted technologies, but at the same time, we also do have human reviewers who are fluent in the local dialects.
So human reviewers. So it's still dependent pa rin siya sa mga human reviewers.
Combination, Your Honor.
Okay, kasi alam mo, I'm sure you will agree with me na maraming mga vloggers na para lang maka-generate ng mapansin, ika nga, no? Nagmumura, no? In fact, bastos di ba? Hindi naman natin sila masisisi o hindi natin masisisi kung paano sila pinalaki ng kanilang mga magulang dahil siguro pinalaki silang bastos di ba? Yun nga ang sinabi sa akin ni Congressman Marcoleta na hindi dapat ganun. Dahil alam mo, tinuturuan natin yung ating mga anak na maging magalang, di ba? Na maging respectful. Hindi yung bulgar na bastos. Di ba? Aling batikusin ka, huwag ka lang magmumura. Kasi subukan mong sabihin sa akin harapan yung ganun. Anong pakiramdam mo? Di ba? Pero kung online, kung magmura, akala mo ang tapang. Di ba? Kaya nga sabi ni Congressman Marcoleta sa akin, hindi dapat pinapayagan yung mga ganun. Because we have laws. Lalo na kung defamatory. Tapos may kasama pang mura. Bakit hindi kayo magmura harapan, di ba? Pumunta kayo rito, hanapin nyo kami, magmura kayo, something like that. Tingnan natin ano mangyayari. Away itong mangyayari. Kung magharap-harapan kahit nagmumurahan kayo, di ba? Alam mo naman, hindi naman normal yung ganun. Ngayon, because of the advent of social media, people like, perhaps, maybe expressing their dissent, or maybe dislike to a person, to an institution, to an organization, by using vulgar language. Di ba? Siguro, pagka ganun yung tao na mura ng mura, hindi mo naman natin masabing walang pinag-aralan yun. Wala lang pinagkatandaan malamang, no? At hindi dinidisiplina ng magulang niya. Kawawa ang magulang nun. Nakakahiya. Di ba? Nakakahiya na yung anak mo bastos, ganyan. Kung magsalita pa ng mga kabastusan, parang walang anak na mga babae. And that is the reason why I asked that if ever there are mechanisms in that social platform that can control that. If not, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, so let me reiterate, all content monetizing with ads must follow our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. And one of the advertiser-friendly guidelines is inappropriate language. Content that contains profanity or vulgarity at the start or throughout the majority of the video may not be suitable for advertising. And some of the enforcement mechanisms that can happen to a creator that violates these policies are, number 1, withhold, adjust, chargeback, or offset earnings or payment. Number 2, limit ad revenue from the video. Number 3, suspend participation in the YouTube Partnership Program. And finally, suspend or even terminate the YouTube channel.
Okay. Last question, Mr. Chair. I hope you don't mind. My colleagues would not mind. I just wanted to ask, why do you monetize? Why? What is the logic behind monetization? Because if you monetize, this probably
is the main motivator or the main motivation of these people who are engaged in these kinds of ads in the YouTube. Bakit kayo nagmo-monetize?
Mr. Chair, monetization through advertising is what pays for the service. So the ability for YouTube to be able to provide a free service to billions of people all around the world is supported by advertising.
So basically, it's advertising.
That's correct, Mr.
So
Chair.
commercial. Tama? So talagang generation of revenues. Di ba? So that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.